Hi, I'm Brett Jennings, and for the last 12 years, I've traveled the country to meet, mentor, and mastermind with some of the brightest and best minds both inside and outside of real estate. I've taken those ideas, brought them back to our team of experts, and sold hundreds of homes per year all across Silicon Valley, and this is how we do it. Brett Jennings here with Real Estate Experts, and excited to connect with Laura Burke on our Expert on Fire series. And this girl is on fire. So happy to connect with you, Laura, and share a little bit about your success story, because I think it is inspiring, because you've done what so many, I think, new and aspiring agents aspire to do, right? To go from, like, say, 5 million in production in 1 year to 25 million, more than 5xing your business. So I'm sure every agent out there wants to know, like, what did you do to create that? But I always say that your business grows to the extent that you do. So I'm curious, because I know from experience that, behind every success is never a straight line, right? People think that success just goes like this, but usually it kind of goes up and down and up and down, and then you get a nice big bump up. And you had one of those breakthroughs. So tell us a little bit about what happened specifically, because most success starts with mindset. And what was it, for you, that you'd been in real estate? Maybe tell a little bit about your story, where you came from, when you joined us, and then what led to this kind of shift in your mindset for this breakthrough.
Sure. Yeah. So I started in tech after I graduated college. I was in technology for, about 4 years, and just realized, I already knew it before I started, but I was like, okay, I've got to start somewhere, get my foot in the door. I was never one of those people that knew exactly what I wanted to be when I grew up. I just knew that I didn't want to work for anybody else besides myself. And I wanted unlimited or income potential and basically financial freedom. So I started in tech, but I quickly realized that it wasn't where I wanted to be, and kind of had conversations with my family about, what's next. And I had always been interested in real estate. My mom would always give me real estate magazines and things like that. And I'd always keep current on what was going on, what was selling. And it just really piqued my interest. And so she's like, you should get your real estate license. And I said, it's not a horrible idea. And so I kind of went out on a limb, and it terrifies me even today talking about it still, but I quit everything I was doing and I studied for my exam. After the fourth time, I passed it, and I was so excited to kind of just start this new journey. And so I began my career with Keller Williams in Danville, where I grew up, and it was great. Keller Williams has a really outstanding,
New agent training. Yeah, they're really good at new agent training.
Yes. And so going through that, learning the ropes, and something though was still missing. Didn't feel like I was completely fulfilled. And I knew I needed to take that next step, and wondering what that was took me all of about 1 day before I found NECA online.
Yeah.
My now team leader. And I reached out to her, and she didn't even know what was coming, I don't think. But I haven't looked back since. And I think that it was definitely a turning point in my whole career, and especially even my life. And we all know the name Tony Robbins, and he emphasizes the importance of adopting an owner or agent mindset rather than kind of an operator or admin mindset in order to scale your business. And so,
yeah, because let me dig into that real quick, because I remember when we first connected, you said you had been working, and I think you hadn't had much success on your own at the KW in Danville, and that when you first came in this relationship with NECA, you came in kind of in more of an administrative role. I think you were being kind of a showing assistant and some of those things. So how long did you do that? And then what was the turning point? So basically you got started as a solo agent, you got a little bit of experience under your belt, and then you came to join a team, which sometimes people, like, once they've been on their own, they don't want to join a team, but that actually was a great path for you. you made that move to join a team, but you kind of went a little bit down, and not down, into the admin role. And you were there for how long? And then what was the turning point that you were like, you know what, I'm going to do this? Like, what was that? What happened there?
Yeah. So when I first came on board with NECA, we were both figuring out what was to come next. I think, I took her by surprise, and she just, is where she is today, which we'll talk about. But when I first joined, we agreed to a salary position with bonus structure, commission structure based on, sales, mostly her client sales. So at that time, I was soaking it all in. I was learning, I was present, I was flexible, I made the time. And I was comfortable, you could say, because I was still getting a salary, which most agents, none really ever get. And so that kind of dumped me into sort of the admin bucket, if you will. And because of that, I was neglecting sort of my own business. And so I think the turning point was a conversation that we had, NECA and I, of, okay, where do you see this going long term? I'm totally okay keeping you in this role that you're in now and growing you in that way, or you can be fully sales focused and I don't give you anything. And so I chose the latter. And I think that really just lit a fire under my ass and was like, it's now or never. Like, if you're going to get it done, now's the time. And I think that ever since then, it's just been magical.
And it has been awesome to witness you do this journey from 5 million to 25 million. And it's interesting you say, she gave you two alternatives and you chose the latter, because the ladder, you actually have climbed a ladder to this level of success, which is pretty cool to watch. But it's funny. I see so many agents that come into the business and they like want to do it part-time. And we both know from being in this business, like it requires that all out or all in mentality, right? And so that when she put that decision to you, okay, do you want to be an admin or do you want to be a full-time agent? Because I'm not going to feed you. You chose it and you did it. And it is that all in, do or die attitude, that commitment that I think, as I've watched you, was that big shift in your mindset. So knowing what's changed in your mindset, what, we've talked about that piece. What things are you doing differently in this past year that you weren't doing before, to generate, to go from 5 million to 25 million?
Yeah, that's my favorite question. I think there's a list of things, and I'll touch on a few. The most important one being believing in myself and my business. I think that working my way in such a short time from essentially an employee to now owning my own corporation, which I started at the beginning of this year, has been just eye-opening. And it's really allowed me to kind of dig deep and find my purpose and my why, which I know you and NECA bring up all the time. And I had never really given any thought to, but I understand it now. And I think that's number one. Number two, I think, is learning from my mistakes. You'll make them. Doesn't really matter how experienced you are. You'll always make them. 2 years in the business, 20 years in the business, but that's okay. So I made the effort to gain something from each mistake that I made, each setback. And because you can learn from a bad teacher or a good teacher. So you might as well take it on. And every loss is a win if you let it be. So your ability to be successful is not necessarily determined by your wins, but on how you handle your losses. So, excuse me, there's a quote that I really love, and it says, the greatest mistake you can make in life is to be continually fearing that you will make a mistake. Mm-hmm. So being able to make mistakes, watching and learning from others. I mean, you and NECA have been tremendous leaders, and just watching you guys alone has given me, has taught me so much. But if you're the smartest one in the room, you're not learning anything. And so if you're the smartest
one in the room, you're in the wrong room.
Yeah. So the amount of just discipline that I've learned from my peers, everyone at Real Estate Experts, has been invaluable. And thinking ahead, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, and you need to be prepared for every possible outcome, and always asking the right questions. Asking the right questions is critical to your success and your client's success. And so, using your past mistakes to fuel your future deals, and letting your clients know without actually letting them know that you know what you're doing, and that they can trust you, and that you can help them guide, or you can help guide them through this process.
Wow. Well, you touch on so many great things, and I want to unpack a few of them, even consolidate a few of them. It sounds like, through the mentorship with NECA and being in an environment with top producing agents really help you kind of look at what hard work looks like, so that you can model that. That was one of the things that you shared. What about like your actual sources of business? Like, where do you find your business coming from now? Now that you've made this major leap, and it's a third of it online. Are you're getting clients from Zillow, Sphere of Influence? What does your business makeup look like?
Yeah, I think all of the above. In the beginning, I really relied on business leads, like the fishing pond, right? Where we have a bunch of kind of older, neglected, if you will, leads that were interested at one time, or maybe they weren't. But anyway, it was thousands and thousands of leads. And I just got on my mojo and I started calling. And I remember too, towards the end of Q4 of last year, I picked up one lead out of there and got 2 sales. And I think that was just what I needed to continue the momentum. But then other than that, it's providing the service to get you referrals. I mean, Zillow is great, but you're giving away a lot of your money at the end of the day. And so while that's an amazing resource, you want to make sure that you're giving these people 5-star service so that they're referring you to other clients. This year alone, I helped a Zillow lead close on their home in December of last year, and they've referred me almost more than $3 million of business this year that I've closed. One Zillow lead came back to me twice, one bought and sold. So, just being steadfast with your service really, I think is key. And then, now Sphere of Influence is coming up. People who I went to high school with, college with, are just starting now to buy their first homes and get into the game. And so that's really exciting to be able to help people that I actually know personally. So yeah, that's
awesome. And what cool timing, right? That you've now got yourself in the business, and you have your own business, as we talked about now, like that you're demonstrating success as an agent. You have this confidence and competency. So now that your Sphere of Influence, like your friends and stuff, are maturing to that phase, you're they're ready to take care of them. So that's pretty awesome. But I think, yeah, that's a pattern that we see from a lot of people, is we don't want Zillow to be all their business, right? Because it's not sustainable, and it's not really what a great business is, but it is an awesome kind of Kickstarter, right? To get momentum going. And you've done that exceptionally well. So any last things in closing, for a new or aspiring agent? You shared a lot of wisdom and insight with your learning, with all those learnings, but any final comment or words of advice for those aspiring agents who are trying to do what you've done, they're trying to get from that 5 million to 20 million or more?
Yeah, I think just be willing to take risks and challenges, shatter negative perceptions, embrace the challenges, and, realize that it's all part of developing the mindset that we all need, and get inspired. Take time each day to engage with something or someone that inspires you. Making it a daily priority will really help maintain that momentum. And to me, gratitude is something that's really important. And so every morning, well, Monday through Friday, and then Saturday, Sunday, of course, but Monday through Friday, we have a team meeting every morning, just kind of going over what are our goals for the day and what's going on and things like that. But before we say anything, we say, what are you grateful for? And, or in Brett's terms, what's your positive focus? So I think just acknowledging that, encouraging yourself, complimenting yourself, rewarding yourself is really important. And then, you know, something you said recently too that has stuck with me is we all know what to do, but are we doing it? And I think that was something in the beginning that, you know, you can learn everything, but are you actually doing it? So that's the big takeaway for me.
That's awesome. Well, honored to have spent the time with you today, and I'm sure for all the wisdom that you've shared is going to have an impact on the people who are watching this. And I'm excited to see, you know, congratulations again on a great 2021. Excited to see what's in store for you for 2022. And great job on just elevating your mindset and becoming this amazing producer. So Brett Jennings here with Laura Burke. So saying, don't just be an agent, be the expert. We'll see you next time.